Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Adeepena Show. My name is Ohima Adeepena, and I'm going to be your host for today. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, Adeepena Show on all social media platforms. With me here in the studio is Mr. Kofi Opoku Apo. I want to say welcome, Mr. Kofi, to the Adeepena Show.
Thank you. Thank you, Ohima Adiepena. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Thank you so much. And I welcome all our viewers today. We are discussing the topic, which is disadvantages of having a joint account as couples. So we are going to dive a lot into that. So please stay tuned and do not change your channel. I also want to introduce to you my book, which I am the author. It's titled Broken Bonds, Unbroken Spirits, A Mother's Journey to Resilience. And I kid you not, read this book and grab some resilience. Everybody has some sort of resilience in them, but reading this book will kind of like take you to another level. You can have your copy on Amazon or adeepena.com, www.adeepena.com. It's a secured website, so you can place your order there or go to Amazon and grab your order. Thank you, everybody. So, Mr. Kofi, this evening, because it's evening at my end, I know back in Arizona, it's kind of like afternoon. We are discussing disadvantages of having joint account as couples. So if we say joint account, what do you understand by that? What is a joint account?
Thank you. Thank you once
This is
again,
my first
Ohima.
question to you, so sorry about that.
Thank you. I appreciate the question. I know you always come with loaded questions, so which makes the discussion very, very relevant. And like I always say, even before I say anything, I want to thank God for another week. Thank God it's Friday, right? And I know sometimes I just look forward to Friday where we come here and all we do is to share perspectives. And that's what we are going to do today.
Right.
We're going to share perspectives. We're going to, learn from each other and just get better, right? And so we thank God for His mercies. We thank God for His blessings. We thank God for seeing us through another week. And I am happy to be on your show. This show, like I said, is very, very, very important. It is very educational. And sometimes I can't wait to join you as a host or as a guest or as just listening to great, people with experiences, sharing the ideas, and I'm always learning. So thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
And I also want to, shout out to all the audience that will be listening to us or that will be watching us or that would actually take time to listen to this recorded video after the show. We appreciate you all, and without you, this show would not be what it is. So thank you. All right. So now to the question, what is a joint account? Okay. So my basic understanding is that a joint account is a financial account, right? We always talk about money. This is about money. So it's a financial account that is usually owned by two or more people.
Okay.
Who have decided or who want to manage their money together. Or we call it commingling, right? It's mostly used by couples because we are talking about relationship. I know that's very important. So couples can decide to have joint accounts. Families can also decide to have joint accounts. Friends can decide to do that. And even business partners can also make the decision to have a joint account to manage their finances together. Okay. Joint accounts can be used for different financial purposes. Okay. For example, or for instance, a couple might choose to have what we call checking account, or they might choose to go to a bank and say, hey, I want to open a checking account to handle their money or any other financial activities that they may have, right? They can easily, checking account can easily help you. It can help couples deposit their money. They can withdraw money and they can transfer money. It's a very, very common type of financial accounts that people use for their everyday financial transactions. It is also very convenient. And actually, if couples have it, they can use it. They can use it to pay bills. They can use it to make purchases, and most importantly, not just couples. People just use it as a convenient way to get paid. When you're working, they ask you for checking account. You can easily get paid through checking account. So checking account is one of the joint accounts that couples can use for their everyday financial activities. Checking accounts is actually very flexible. It offers flexibility for spending like right away. Want to do something, checking accounts really good. And it's here in America, they make it so easy that it even comes with debit card, for easy access. Okay. So that is one of the ways that, I understand joint account. Then we can also have what we call a joint savings account, right? It's also this, it works a little different. It's just like checking account, but work a little different. It can help couples decide to save money. If they decide to have some extra money they don't want to spend, they can put it in there and help them save money. And saving accounts actually help you earn some interest, and so that will help your money to grow. And at the same time, it also gives you the flexibility and easy access to your money whenever you need it. All right. So we have checking account, joint checking account that couples can use. Then we have saving account or joint savings account that couple can use. And then there's what we also have we call the investment account. You can also have it as a couple, joint investment account. And it's basically used for investment purposes, right? So an investment account is also a convenient way that you can use for investment. You can invest in things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, EFTs, or even cryptocurrency these days with all this crypto going on, right? The good news is that many of these investment accounts are also very flexible. You can access your money depending on how you structure your investment. You can access your money whenever you need it, and it can be used for different financial goals, like for the plan for retirement. You can actually use it to plan for your children's education, and you can also use it as a general savings or investment account. So this is the understanding of what joint account is. We have checkings, we have savings, we have investment. I know there are different types, but these are the common ones that couples can actually use for their everyday financial strategies or financial, whatever the term you want to use it. The main point is that joint account, right, offers shared ownership because it's being used by two people. So it offers shared ownership. And so that means that couples own the accounts together. Two people own the account together. And so I want people to understand that joint means two or more people having equal access, owning an account together. I hope this is understandable enough.
Yes, this is more than detailed. So thank you very much. I really didn't know about the investment joint account. All I always hear is the checking account and then the savings account. I did so. Thank you for this insight. So, Mr. Kofi, you being a financial advisor, and today we are talking about disadvantages of joint account when it comes to couples. It's not like we enjoy seeing the bad side first, but we God willing, next week we are going to discuss about the positive side or the advantages of having a joint account as couples. But for today, we are talking about the disadvantages and hopefully next week, God willing, we'll talk about the advantages. So you being a financial advisor, I want to ask you, what do you think what are some of the disadvantages when it comes to having joint account as couples or maybe partners?
Okay. Uh, thank you. Thank you, Hima. I prefer, like, I'm a financial educator. I do more financial education than, advice, but yeah, so I'm a financial professional, financial
Okay.
educator.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for the correct.
and so I just want to make sure that, because financial advisors are, I use my advice, but it's more in the form of education.
Okay.
Huh. And
Thank
so, yeah. This is also a very, very good question, Oyuma. Wow.
And
So,
hold on 1 second. Before you continue, I want to inform our listeners and our viewers that please share this program, because a lot of people will need this. Even if you are not married and you are planning to get married in future, you will really want to have this counseling or advice or education um, at the tip of your finger, so that you don't find yourself wanting in the future. So please share this program, and if you have any comments, you can send your comments, your concerns, or anything you want us to talk about, or if you have questions, you can put them in the comment section, and we will attend to you. And thank you so much. I have my sister Bernice on the show. She's listening. So thank you, sweetheart, for coming on the show. All right, Mr. Kofi, you can go ahead. Thank you.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for those that are already tuning in, and those that, would want to, like you said, do the honors and share this program, because it's all about education, right? We're always educating ourselves and learning. The day you stop learning or the day you stop studying is the day you die. It's not only
Yeah.
when you close your eyes, but the day you stop learning is the day you die. You see those two people that pass by, those are my two daughters. Don't mind them.
Okay.
Okay. What are the disadvantages of having a joint account as a couple? It's also a very, very good question. And what I'm gonna say is based on what I've gathered from my friends, my colleagues, and sometimes people that I meet. Most of my clients that I meet, that we discuss about, financial strategies and financial planning and all that. Okay. Um, most of the men that I talk to, is the first thing they say is that, or what they see as a huge disadvantage, is the fact that they lose control and the freedom of their personal finances. So it's an advantage. Having a joint account with your couple, with a couple having a joint account, or partners having a joint account, or family, whatever, is that because it is a shared account, some people that I've talked to, and from what I've gathered, especially some men, thought that they lose control and the freedom of their personal finances. All right. They say that having a joint account means, and it's true, means that both partners can use the account equally, right? Joint account, you can use the account equally. And it means either partner can spend money without asking the other partner, and pretty much make unilateral financial decisions without communicating with each other, especially those that don't like communicating about stuff. If you both have access to the account, you can go in, spend money, buy stuff without letting the other person know, unless the person actually goes in and look at the statement or just go to the account. All right. And what I learned is that sometimes this leads to arguments or fights,
Okay.
especially if one partner feels that the other is trying to control them or restrict their spending habits by always asking them, "What did you use this money for? Why didn't you tell me?" Da, 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 da. So men think that having a joint account, they've lost autonomy, or they've lost their independence, or they've lost control. And so they see that as a disadvantage of having a joint account. All right. And some women also says that those disagreements, right, that always arises from, why do you like buying? Oh, you just like spending. You let's say shopping. This, that, from their partners. They also see it as a big problem about having joint accounts. And so they think that with that, what happens is that it happens when there's no clear communication going on between the partners. All right. All the one partner wants to do is just talk about the spending, right? Even though they are doing it maybe on behalf of the family, if they have children involved, one partner will say, why do you spend this? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Yes, it's because both of them have equal access to the joint account. All right. The women keep saying that they don't communicate. When you ask them to communicate, they'll say that, oh, don't worry. As long as everything is fine, there's no need for us to talk about it. Okay. However, as soon as there's something out of the ordinary or there's an unexpected issue, then one partner can say that, what happened? What's going on? What did it like? And then there's all kinds of misunderstanding and sometimes argument. And so it's important to know that there are disadvantages in having joint account, and that's what we are talking about. Okay. They also talk about the different ways that, everybody is different. Even though two people have agreed to live their lives together, there's still the differences, right?
Of course,
Individually.
Yeah.
Okay. So they talk about the different ways that each one spend their money. And also what each partner thinks is important financially, and also how they handle debt differently. All right. These issues, because there's no clear or effective communication, like we talked about last week, it brings a lot of confusion and sometimes push strain on the relationships. Okay. And so we realize that financial issues are important to talk about. And because we are looking at the disadvantages, who says that financial issues in relationships come about because of having different lifestyle habits, right? Those can create stress and anxiety in the family. And money is something that triggers a lot of issues in the family or in the relationship. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows this. This is not this like it's money is such a hot topic in every relationship, every family, every situation, right? And women says that the stress even get worse if they worry about their job security, right? There's two people are putting their money together, and if one person is not sure about their job security and one person just keeps spending the money, it brings a lot of stress. All right. And the stress is about the fact that because their job is not secure, they worry about losing their job, number one. Or if they are not careful and then they make poor investment choices and they lose their money, right? It's also something that is very, very, very stressful. And then the other thing that is also stressful for a lot of women, especially, is that if one partner maybe can't work because of sickness or injury, and the family has to depend on only that one money coming from one person, and the other partner is not even worried and just keeps spending, it brings a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Let's think about a situation where there are kids in the family, they are going to school, the man or the woman is not working, and only one person is working, and there's a joint account, and one person just doesn't care, keeps spending, and you're not sure when you're going to lose your job. It can create a lot of stress. All right. And so these stress by having joint account becomes a disadvantage. All right. And so we have to, this is what we are talking about. I'm saying that we have to look at these things. There are also the people that also says that not just even losing their jobs. What if your kids are going to school? What if the other, that those of us here, our family back home also what depends on us for extra support. All these things can have emotional stress. And to make it worse, if your partner does not support you emotionally, right, it's even worse. You can even take two people that are in business, like partners, right? If the business is going poorly and one partner doesn't really care about their bottom line and they just use money anyhow, it can create so much stress and make things harder, right? When some things like this happen, the financial implications is unbearable and the people go through a lot of stress, all right? Some women tell me, some of my clients say that when it happens like that, it messes up their sleep, they lose appetite, and even affect their overall health.
That's true.
Right. And so we had to remember that these are disadvantages. So don't be in a hurry to think that because we are loving each other, we are couples, we can put our money together, because there are disadvantages that can impact that relationship. Okay.
That
And
is very,
sometimes the most worrying thing is that um, some people want to hide the stress, right? Of whatever financial situation they are going through because of commingling their money. And even the implication is even worse than that. Okay. Some women and actually some men that I talk to, these are my clients, they're saying that having joint account means that what? It brings about shared responsibility, right? Whatever happens to the account, the two of you, are held accountable or responsible for it, right?
yeah.
And you know what happens? Let's take it that you have joint account, you and me, and then all you bring in the money, I'm not bringing much money, and I am the spender. I spend a lot of money, all right? Or let's go, I buy things on credit and I
Right.
pile a lot of debt. You know what happened? You, because the two of you have the account, you're also responsible for whatever the debt, right?
That's
It's not only one person. The person making the money is as equally responsible for just like the person spending the money and creating the debt. So women especially stress a lot about this, that if they are the one bringing in, they know they have to make all the decisions for the family, and the guy, if in case he's not making much and he just spends without thinking, it leads to a lot of argument and conflict in the relationship, right? Because the reason is that the man doesn't care, but then you, the woman, you have become part of the accountable. You are now an accountable partner, and that debt you have to help pay. You have to find a way to pay it off. And
yeah.
so, if there's no clear communication, you realize that it causes a lot of misunderstanding in relationship. Okay, and so that is what I want people to know.
Okay.
These are disadvantages.
All right.
And the last thing I want to say before we go to the next one is that this actually leads to communication breakdown, which I'll talk about later. But so these are some of the disadvantages that I hear my clients actually talking about, and it's a real thing that's happening every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi, for your input. We have here on Facebook from Echo Banks. He said, I definitely know that joint account affect individuals' credit score. And this is just like you said a couple of seconds ago. This is very true, because if one's credit score is impacted, definitely the other person's credit score will be impacted. So
Yes.
this is also one
Yes.
of the disadvantages of having a joint account.
Yes.
My dear sister Bernie said debit liability and financial abuse. So
Yes.
this is also one of the disadvantages. So I'm going to add
Yes.
just a little bit to what
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you for
Kofi.
those comments. Those are very, very
Yeah,
powerful
thank you
comments.
very
And
much.
those
And
are
once
all
again,
disadvantages of
drop
having
down
what? Joint account.
yes, drop down
Yes.
your questions, your concerns, your comments, everything on here, so we can help people out there to know what goes on in joint account. Of course, there are great advantages to having a joint account, but for today we are discussing disadvantages of having a joint account. Welcome to the show, Sister Elom. She said so is necessary to have it is necessary to have a joint account.
We will
Like
discuss that next week.
we are discussing the disadvantages of having a joint account as a couple. So on my part, I just want to chip in a few things that when couples have joint account, sometimes, we the women, we always want to pamper our men, and having a joint account and maybe you go to the store. Let's say, for instance, maybe you go to a Gucci store, or maybe whichever store, any of the brands you can mention, and you want to buy your husband something. So once you went to the Gucci store, you just want to surprise him, right? So you buy maybe a wallet, a purse, something. And this is going to reflect in the account. Your husband is going to see the notification, and then he'll be like, oh, he went to a Gucci store. Then definitely there's no more surprise, right? He knows that you have either you bought it for yourself or you bought it for him. And then you come and you be like, oh, honey, I bought you this, I bought you something. And he just knew that you went to the Gucci store, you got something, not for yourself. There's nothing like getting a surprise for the other partner. One other thing also is when there is divorce and you guys have a joint account, it becomes a little struggle for you guys to kind of like separate the account, and it also causes legal issues and legal things,
legal
like
financial issues.
Yes, financial issues and maybe complications. You have to get a lawyer involved, you have to pay, you have to do this, you have to do all of that, and it's kind of like a little nightmare. Our sister Bernice also sent in, it's a legal complications, yes, when you want to close it, because you need consent from both parties, and this is
that is 1000% correct.
Yes, so this is
our listeners are very smart and intelligent. I'm telling you, learn a lot. These are all things that I've put down, but they're already on the. They are so good, and I'm loving it. Thank you guys.
Very much. Thank you so much for your comments and everything. So these are a few of the things that we would want to share when it comes to having a joint account with your partner. Mr. Kofi, I also want to ask you that how can couples navigate through these disadvantages that we have shared here, like having a joint account with your partner? How can couples navigate through these challenges?
That is also a very loaded question. I know the audience are going to even come up with more incredible ideas and share perspectives. I just love this program. I love it. Before I answer the question, there was a few things that I wanted to also add to all that they've been saying, so there's when like all that you said is true, and what happens is that it's kind of erode the trust between the couple, right? There's also what we call there's a perceived inequity or like resentment. There are some things that is in there, people will not talk about it. And you know what happens? Money is number one cause that impacts intimacy in relationships. So we had to think about that. It can impact relationship. Financial stress can impact intimacy in relationship. And then also the difficulty in planning together, right? And then what we call privacy concerns. So all these are disadvantages that I want people to know. Okay, now, and then one of them said, it's true, there's the difficulty, like you said, dissolving the accounts. If there's a legal battle, there's a legal struggle and stuff like that. And then there's the increased risk of financial abuse. Now, what somebody disclosed to me, I'm not going to say, but is that when it gets to the point where people are thinking, okay, now we are going to go our separate ways, right? Because there's no amicable solution. One partner can decide to do what? Even financially abuse whatever the account, that whatever money is in there, one person will decide to even mess it up because they know they are going their individual ways. This is a huge disadvantage. And so we have to know all these things. Okay. We are not saying that it's no good to have joint account. We are just talking about the disadvantage. So I want people to understand that. Okay. Now to the question, how can couples navigate through these challenges?
To add to what you just said, like whenever there is a break in the relationship or maybe divorce, one person can just go to the bank and withdraw all the money.
Withdraw the money.
the other one, not knowing, will go to the store and wants to use the card, and the card will decline, and you'll be like,
Yes.
oh, what is going on?
Yes,
Before
I
he
have clients
or
that have actually disclosed that to me. So
yes,
I want people to know that it's there, and it's
it's
not a
there.
good thing.
So just
Not a good thing.
know what is going on.
Yeah.
Bernice came back again and she said communication is a key.
Yes, we'll talk about communication.
Ben
So
also
yes,
said open communication and keeping the purpose of the of holding the joint account is also another key. So I think
yes.
this should come to the
This they
advantages.
yes, all that they are saying is true, but it will be mostly on the advantages side, which we're going to look at next week. So guys, next week tune in and then bring out, just remind us of all these great contributions you are putting out there. We appreciate it. We are looking at more of the disadvantages. Thank you so much. So now, how would couples navigate the challenges that comes with a joint account? This is also the information I gathered from a few of the friends and people in the community, most of my clients that I talk to. First of all, it's important that couples understand each other's perspectives when it comes to money. Okay. Now, because people have different perspectives when it comes to money, understanding that each one's understanding about money is very, very, very important. Okay. And that is why it is somebody talk about communication. That is okay. Now we can put in communication in. This is why it's super important to talk openly with your partner and know about his background and feelings when it comes to finances or money, right? You're going to say, how do you see money? How do you understand money? Like, what does money mean to you? If you have this open communication, you can gauge each other's understanding of money, and it's kind of help you avoid the challenges that comes with having a joint account. All right. And the other thing is couples should keep talking like it's about money. People, because of sometimes miseducation, it's not about educational, it's miseducation and maybe ignorance. These two sometimes prevent people from talking openly about money. All right. But I think that couples should constantly talk about money. Right? Talking about money is really important for the relationship itself, because at every point in time, you know where you stand, both of you are. All right. You make sure you make the time to talk about money. All right. You check your finances regularly together. It will help you navigate all these challenges. And then you need to openly talk about things like your income, expenses, savings, your debt, your goals. It helps you navigate some of these challenges. Find time to talk about money. It's very, very, very important. And then also couples should have clear financial understanding. If you don't know something, ask. Get some form of education, like what we are doing now. We are learning. Okay. Understand how money works. Understand why some things happen. Understand why there's this and that and this and that. Okay. Some people think because they have PhD in one area, they'll be able to understand everything in other areas. Well, you'll be surprised that there's a lot of people PhD have no idea when it comes to financial planning. That's why a lot of them go for professional, because it's important that we learn and we have clear understanding. We have CPAs, we have financial professionals out there. I'm an educator. I educate people about finances. I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you what you have to do. These things are very, very, very good. And so there should have a clear understanding when it comes to finances. Being open like this and asking questions and learning helps build effective partnership. It improves the relationship. Okay. It can also avoid confusion and build trust among each other, because all of you are on the same page, right? It's important to be truthful about your accounts together. What's going on in the account, debt, investment, savings. You keep each other one informed, and you know what happens? It makes you form a strong bond. All right. And then couples, I'll say, should also set financial goals together. Don't just talk about it. You should set the goals. You should plan together, because then it helps you. There are no surprises. All right. when there are no financial communication, there's studies that shows that 1 in 3 couples will never agree on what, first of all, what they should save for. There's no agreement. All right. What they should plan for the future, there's no agreement. Especially if they don't talk, because they have different understanding of what finance, the finance, planning. I mean, they have different understanding of what their financial strategy is. All right, and it brings a lot of problems. And so to avoid these problems or challenges, there should be like a roadmap where couples or partners or families, whoever, sit together and they say, this is what we are doing. For example, if you guys plan to go on vacation, say, hey, we want to go on vacation at this day. This is what we're doing. This is what we have. Let's do this together. Let's do that. Okay. You say, when it comes to long-term goals, okay, this, if in case you want to buy a house, that's a long-term strategy. That's a long-term financial commitment. So the two of you have to sit down, plan. What kind of house are we buying? Where are we buying the house? How much can we afford? Exactly. If you're thinking about saving for your children's college, it's also a long-term goal, long-term financial goal. Think about what can we do? What, like, all these things is good, and especially retirement. Same thing. What are we? How are we going to retire? What are we doing? What kind of investment strategies do we need to help us plan for retirement? These are things couples need to sit and plan together, and it will help you avoid all the challenges that what happens in a relationship, especially having joint account. If you have a joint account and each of you have different mindsets, it doesn't even make sense in the first place, right?
Yeah.
It's not only the money that just go and spend. No, you need to be on the same page. And so having these clear understanding can help couples avoid a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, a lot of mistakes, a lot of financial pitfalls, a lot of things that goes on in relationship. We are not saying you have to be a millionaire or be a billionaire or have a lot of money to plan. No. See, in I don't understand. It looks like the rich people have more financial planning strategies than the poor people. But I think it should be the other way around, right? I'm not saying poor. I mean, not poor people. I'm not using the word poor, but people that have less financial, advantages. We should be doing more of the planning to make sure we know where every dollar, every city, every pounds, that whatever currency you're using, you should know where it's going, especially if you're a couple that co-mingle your finances or do things together. It's very, very, very important. And having these communications and certain strategies can help you avoid a lot of the challenges that comes with having joint account as couple. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kofi. Our knowledgeable audience have put in a couple of comments here. So let's see, and welcome to the show, Mr. Asante. So Mr. Asante is saying that he said to avoid those financial abuse in joint account, there must be some clauses set up by the bank. For example, spending limits and partners approval. Oh, that's also good. Partners approval of certain account withdrawal, and this is very, very good. Thank you.
It is very true, and also to add to that, this goes to speak about lack of trust. Right? It's, if there's no trust, then this is very, very going to be effective, because if I trust you, I don't need to put spending limit on account. I don't need to put clauses, go to the bank and ask them to put clauses. All right. I think that would happen if maybe you suspect that the relationship is going to go nowhere, and you don't want any but one person, like you said, going in and withdraw money. But if the two of you sit down and you plan, you talk, you're on the same pages, then I don't see why there's going to be spending limits or clauses, because sometimes if you are not available, if one partner is not available, right, and there's some very critical decision, for example, the man is not well, the man is incapacitated, right? and you need the one woman, or I mean, one partner has to make the major decision, putting clauses like that, right, in your financial account would hinder the woman to be able to make a financial decision to save the man, or vice versa. Because we are humans and we are vulnerable, there's a lot of things that happen. And so if there's a clear communication and both couples on the same page and they trust each other, you don't need clauses, you don't need spending limitations, you don't need anything like that. You just have to be on the same page, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That will come and actually hinder each one of you to try and save or do the best thing for the couple. But again, it is very, very important what he said.
Yeah, I agree. I partially agree with you, because dealing with humans is sometimes very, very vital to kind of like hold on to trust. You may have someone that you kind of like 100% trust today. Tomorrow this person might go hear certain things here and there and might change his or her mindset about things. So as much as trust is okay, to me, I think it's also a measure to put in place how much this person can have and how much that person can have. I'm just saying, somebody
Let me
might
ask you a question, hypothetical. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. I agree with you 100%. I agree, but let me ask you a hypothetical question. Let's assume that you and I have a joint account, and we go to the bank, and because of trust issues, we said nobody can spend more than $1,000 a day or $100 a day. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's assume that you travel to Ghana to go see your family, or you've gone on vacation or something that cannot be available. And one of our children, there's an emergency, there's in high school or whatever, and they need about $500 that day. I cannot take care of that.
Can't we call the bank and talk to them on the phone for correction, or no?
So that's the thing. For if there's an emergency, now you are going to do all that. What if it's on a weekend? The bank is closed. So all I'm saying is that, yes, all I'm saying is that I agree 100% that there should be all these clauses and all this, which we call it, agreement or whatever from the bank due to what will happen tomorrow. But I'm saying if couples trust each other, and I know that, like I said, unless there's something that fishy, or unless there's something I realize that if I don't do this, that's going to happen. But couples that understand each other, they talk openly about money, they're on the same page. During emergencies like that, we're able to take care of the family. We're able to do things, or do things to help cover each other, cover the family, cover you, cover me. And so if we put too much limitations, it can sometimes come and bite us in the behind.
That's
right.
true.
And so it's all about communication. It's all about trust. If I trust you 100%, I'm not going to go behind you and spend money, because before I do that, you already know, because we talk about it every day. We always talk about it. So there's nothing that's going to be surprise.
Okay.
Right. Unless, of course, we know that the marriage or the partner or the relationship is on the rocks, going down the tube, and then we can then decide to do what? Let's put all this in place so that at least everybody is protected. But if there's nothing like that, then trust, communication, and being on the same page is what I would suggest. That being said, all that you guys said is true.
Okay.
It's true at some point, yes.
Understood. Thank you very much. So Mr. Banks came back and he said a partner took a personal loan from the bank and did not keep to the repayment. Unfortunately, the bank took the debt from the joint account, and it brought about a misunderstanding between the couple. So
yeah, that's what we are talking about. This is some of the disadvantages of having a joint account. There's what we call shared responsibility. Once somebody goes for a debt, like in this case a loan, the two of you are going to share that responsibility, right?
The
And so if the
payment.
bank has to recoup the loan, he's just going to go to the joint account and take. All right.
Correct.
And so so exactly this goes to support the fact that there are disadvantages of having a joint account. All right.
Yeah.
And that also go to support the fact that there's no clear communication between those two people, because before the guy or the partner will go for the loan, both of them have to be on the same page and agree that, hey, I'm going for the loan. And so it's about trust and miscommunication. That is what resulted in that, right?
Yep. Okay. Mr. Asante, Sister Bernie said she doesn't agree with you. She said, Daniel O. Asante, I don't think the bank can set up my spending limit. It's my money and I decide what I can't even finish reading. It's my money and I decide what to use that for. The
I like
couple
the healthy back and forth. I really like it. This shows
so
that our listeners are very, very, educated. I like the back and forth. This is good.
yeah,
Daniel, this is good.
yeah,
Okay, we can agree to disagree, but we're all learning here. So that
yeah.
is very, very, very
That's
important.
true, and I like that. Thank you very much,
Mm,
everybody. Mr. Kofi, I have two couples. This is just scenarios I want to hear your opinion about.
okay.
This couple, the lady spends a lot, like
Mm,
crazy. They have a joint account, and the lady spends a lot. So, if you are the man, what do you have to do with a wife or a partner that spends more than necessary? Like it's
right.
like she's addicted to spending. She shops like crazy. One, two, she's at the mall buying things, the things that even she doesn't need, she will just buy and save for tomorrow or for some reason.
Yeah.
And then this couple to, or maybe we should go one after the other, but
Okay.
there's another
So
couple.
let me
Okay, go
finish
ahead.
this. And so you see, again, this go to support what I just said about communication and talking about money, right?
Mhm.
It's always like I said from the beginning. That was the first thing I said when I was talking about the challenges. It's like you should understand each other's perspective when it comes to money. The lady thinks that as long as there's money and she want to buy something that she want to buy, she has to buy it. Her perspective about money is different,
Mhm.
and so that plays a role. And then again, what I would say to them, the couple, is that maybe they are not having more conversation about money. They should have a conversation for them to say, hey, the more stuff you buy, we're going to run into issues in the future.
And the
All
lady
right.
said, I'm also working, I'm contributing
Hold
to
on.
the joint
Yes.
account. So why
Yes.
shouldn't I spend?
Yes. I know that's why it talks about having clear financial understanding.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
You are working today, you are healthy today. So you're able to make the money.
Mhm.
And so there should be the understanding that, yeah, you can spend all the money, but if you're not careful in the future, if you are
Future.
no longer able to work, then you'll
Mhm.
not be able to continue this lifestyle or this luxury or whatever it is you want to buy. So again, it's all about education. It's all
Okay.
about communication. It's all
Okay.
about knowing each other's perspectives, how they understand money, how they understand planning, how they understand financial strategy for future. Okay.
Mhm.
And so, you're right. The lady works so hard to make that money. She has the right to use whatever and however she wants it. But we just don't think about today. We think
Mm.
about the future. We think about tomorrow. We think about
Okay.
when we are not able to work. We think about if it's emergency and we can't work. That is why we have savings or we have accounts. That's why we decide to put our money together to kind of support each other. And so the lady has the right to do whatever, but we have to have tough talk about spending habits, tough talk about how do you want your lifestyle to be if you can't work in. We have to have open and clear communication about the importance of spending less today so you can have money for tomorrow and the future and for the family. And
Okay.
so that is what I will tell the lady, the family,
Okay.
the couple. They should keep talking to each other.
Okay. Thank you very
That's
much.
the
So
first question.
the other couple too, the lady is the woman is the one that brings in the money. The husband is not working, but they still have a joint account. Okay, my question is, with that being said, like the woman is the one being working and bringing in the money, how does the husband contribute to this situation? Like, he's not working, but once a while he uses some of the money and all that. So how should they, and the woman not feeling that she has all the burden on her shoulder, how should she handle such situation?
This is a very common thing that I hear a lot when I meet with my clients and we're talking. Like one person being I'll
Breadwinner.
pretty much say that the breadwinner. Both are
Mhm.
working, but one makes more money than the other. Sometimes happens to be the woman, sometimes happens to be the man. And unfortunately, if you are the type that you are in a relationship where the person that brings in the less money even spend more than the person bringing the more money, sometimes it can be an issue. All right. And so I'm also going to say that it also comes to the point, the fact that there has to be an understanding, there has to be the communication. We have to talk openly about, I want to know your understanding about money. I want to know how you think about money. I want to know what makes you spend so much. I want to know, first of all, there should be a reason. There's a reason why the man is not making that much. Maybe the woman is well educated, and because of her education level, she's got a very, very, good job that she get paid well. It can also be same for the man. All right. And then on the other hand, the man is not well educated, and so he's able to just find a job where it's not paid that well. Same can be for a woman. But the two of you decided to what? You did not think about money when you met. The last thing on your mind was not money, it was love.
Yeah.
You fell in love, or you decided to build your lives together. Money is a tool. That's why I define it. Money is a tool that enhances life.
Mm.
Right? It enhances your life. You're able to make your life better. And so, how do we handle this tool that we have? You have less tool coming in, I have more gadgets coming in. How do we put it together? Right? And so there has to be that tough talk. Tough talk. And if the couple respect each other and they value each other and they feel like love is more than money, it will not be an issue. I'm telling you, I
That,
have a lot of clients that the woman makes 10 times what they make. It's not even a question. The woman is like a doctor. I'm going to give you two instances. There's a woman that is a doctor, not just a doctor. My God, he's a doctor with a PhD, 2 PhDs. Okay. We are talking about bringing in $500,000
okay.
a year.
A
And then
year.
the man is bringing in 50,000 a year. Think about it. 10 times. The woman is earning 10 times than the
Okay.
man. The woman understands money because it took his time to educate herself. The man doesn't understand money. The man knows that it's not that he doesn't understand money, but he feels that if there's money, he should be able to do more for the family. And so he end up doing more. And in so doing, because there's no communication, it creates confusion. All right. And so this is why I said communication is important. All right. The fact that the man is making less doesn't mean he's not contributing. That is how he can contribute. The fact that the woman is making more doesn't mean he has to have the final say. It's all about the two coming together. Remember, when you met, the last thing you thought was money. Whatever happened for the two of you to click and decide to come together, which is the ultimate thing, which is love, should be the driving force. You can talk about money respectfully among couple. It doesn't matter who is anymore, who is not anymore. Unfortunately, some man, we feel like because we are the man and we are making less, we should still make that decision. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that when it comes to finance. It doesn't work like that. And that is why there's a lot of issues. And some women also feel that because she's the mother of the house and she has to go to the market and that she has to. No, it has to be the two people, the couple sitting together and planning, communicate. talk openly about money. What do we want our money to do for us? What do we do? Okay. And I know that when we do this, I promise you, when couples do that, because sometimes I meet them and after they say, oh, I didn't know that. This is very easy. Okay, so what do we do? And then I say, okay, A, B, C, and then they're able to start putting things together. They're able to plan, save, and still enjoy their money without any stress or headache or whatever. But it's all about education, communication, and trust. Okay? Women
Okay.
spend as much as you want, men spend as much as you want, but each of you should make sure that what you're doing is rather benefiting the two and not creating problems.
Okay. Okay.
I hope it helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. So just to add to what you just said, I believe that no matter who is bringing in more money, if let's say the woman makes a lot of money than the man, what I believe should happen is respect for each other. Sometimes, let's say the man is not making much, but still he has this ego. I'm the man. I don't even care how much you bring in and this and that. So it creates confusion. Okay.
Right.
And the women too, if you're a woman and you are making more than your husband does, what I want to say, things can
Bro,
change. Yeah, bro, humble
just be
yourself
who
and
you are.
also know that you have no idea. One day something can change. This God can just direct this man to a destiny helper, and the all you know is this man is making a lot of money, more than what you were making previously. So things can change. I know what I'm talking about. So it's just humble yourself and respect each other if you find yourself in this situation. Just understand each other, respect each other. The women, we should humble ourselves, no matter how much we are bringing to support the house. It doesn't change anything. And the men too, we are pleading with you to not being like, oh now this can be like, I'm the man and I have the say and you don't have the say. No matter what, we are bringing the money. It's a hassle, it's a tough thing for us. So we want you guys to also meet us at a point of our need. So as we, although say Adeno might be a little emotional something, or maybe it creates confusion and struggles and all of that, if you give us the support that we need, if you give us the respect that we need, we will not complain, rather than you are not bringing much but you still want to like put me at the corner and tell me you bring a lot of money to the house, and so what? It makes it's something for a woman to like take the burden on her shoulders to like support and everything, and then at the same time, she doesn't have the peace of mind to do what she wants to do. It brings a lot of confusion. So this is just something little that I want to chip in. Mr. Asantis came back and he said, let's read this and then said, people change and relationships are not 100% certain to last till one of them is dead. Okay. That's why folks these days go into prenuptial agreement. A lot of romantic actors out there. Many folks has been victimized financially in relationship, and this is very true. Mr. Kofi, you have something to say about this or no? Mr. Kofi, can you hear me? Your network is frozen, I guess. All right, so Mr. Banks came back and he said, we shouldn't equate money to power. There should be a mutual respect. Love conquers all, and this is 100% true. Our time is up, and I hope that the discussion for today.
Sorry. I think my line just went off. I apologize. Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
was asking if you have something to say about Mr. Asante's contribution.
I did not. He said, okay, so people change and relationships are not 100% certain to last till one of them is dead. That's why folks these days go into a prenuptial agreement. A lot of romantic actors out there, many folks have been victimized financially in their relationships. Asante, Mr. Asante is 100% true. And I was going to also touch about prenuptial. See, everything that Asante is talking about, these are disadvantages of having joint account. And so thank you for adding that. And so I agree with Mr. Asante. So my last word I'm going to say in starting from what Mr. Asante said is that there are disadvantages in having joint accounts as couples or families or friends or business partners. And there's nothing wrong with that. We just have to know how to go about it. So instead of becoming a disadvantage, it become advantage, which we are going to look at next week. Okay. But the disadvantages are real. I think that the disadvantages can be avoided in relationship, like I said, if couples talk openly. I can't stress this enough. If couples, like you said, but I really, whatever you said is 100%. If couples can first of all respect each other, regardless of who is making the more money. If couples can respect each other, if couples can clearly communicate and talk about their financial strategies, financial activities for both of them to benefit. If couples can be open-minded and know what is going on or what they want, a lot of these challenges can be avoided, right? And like I said, I'm going back to summarize. We have to know each other's financial goals. We have to understand how each other understands their finances. Couples should be able to talk and plan their money. It's two of you. Plan, sit down, talk about it. Just like how you talk about every other thing. You guys sit down and plan about going on a date. You can go on a date and talk about money. You can go on a date. You can take a vacation and go and plan about money. Let's have the mindset of think about it like your relationship or your family. Think about it as a business. If a business doesn't plan, they go bankrupt. They go out of business, right? I'm not saying see the relationship as a business, but think about it and talk about money. It's the money and everything. Like the money is the tool that helps you guys live a comfortable life. It makes beautiful stuff happen. And so have that mindset. Think about money. Plan with your income, expenses, debt, your financial future. Talk openly about it. Not once, not twice, but it has to be part of the daily communication. Matter of fact, you talk about it every day. You should make changes. When situations change, how are you going to adapt financially? If family dynamics change, how are you going to adapt financially? It's something that you do regularly and constantly. And then also, couples can set common financial goals. We should be on the same page. I don't think about car where somebody is thinking about something else. If be on the same page, have common goals, have common financial goals, and decide if you want to share. If you think having one joint account is good or having separate account is good. Look, I know clients that have separate account, but they love themselves more than people with joint account. Right? We're going to talk more about it, but I'm just trying to say that if you think that joint account wouldn't help, it's okay to have separate accounts.
Right.
The idea is to avoid the disadvantages of having co-mingling your finances, and then it brings all sort of headache and confusion and distraction in the relationship. Okay. So setting personal goals, setting shared financial goals to make sure that everybody, hey, whatever happens to us, we are in this together. It will help the couples a lot. They should always keep discussing the pros and cons of having joint account. And then also couples should think about budgeting. Look, I know a lot of people who don't like budgeting. I'm telling you right now. If you don't have budget, if you don't like budgeting, please See me. I will help you educate you a little bit about budgeting, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you the pros and cons about budgeting. It's
Mm.
very, 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 very important. Budget. Please talk about your debts. If you go for a loan, talk about it. Students loan, car loan, mortgage, personal loan, whatever it is, any debt you have, talk about it.
Yeah.
Find plans to talk about it. And most importantly, we have to be transparent.
Mm.
Transparency, transparency.
Very
And now I'm
important.
going to talk about the prenuptial. Okay, I know a couple, some people that have prenuptial. They have prenuptial agreement. One, when they started dating and they realized that, okay, I'm making more money, I'm doing this, they decided to talk openly about it and said, you know what, because of our situation, and you have this loan, I have that loan, I love you, but I think if we have prenuptial agreement. Now, prenuptial agreement is an agreement where couples put together so that if in case they're married, whatever situation they are in financially before they married stays the same.
Okay.
So if, let's say, you and I agree to, let's say, marry, we'll look at our financial situation as, oh, I owe $50,000 student loan. You don't owe no student loan. We'll make an agreement that if we marry or if we come together, I am going to be responsible for my student loan because it's not
Mhm.
your burden. We
Yeah.
can have that agreement. It can be anything. Prenuptial agreement, if you think is the best way to go, I would highly recommend that you can do it. You just have to communicate and make sure that you're on the same page. Prenuptial agreements actually help protect each other,
Mm.
especially if one have a lot of assets or he has built a life through sweat and all that. Prenuptial agreements can help make
Okay.
sure that each one is protected. And then if tomorrow something happens, then it means nobody is going to be taken advantage of. And
Okay.
finally, I would like to say that, like I always end with my perspectives, please, it's very important to seek financial advice.
Mm.
If you are miseducated about money or financial issues, please seek professional advice. You can educate yourself. I'm here. There's a lot of people out there. You can find whoever can help you be financially educated. If you have trouble with managing money or don't know what marriage is about, and that one is creating a lot of disagreements within your relationship, please seek help. See financial professionals and financial, there's 50 million of them out there. Some do it for free, some will charge you a fee, some will find a way to educate yourself financially, all
Mm.
right, so that it will help the relationship get better, beautiful, blossom, enjoy each other. Because
Mm.
money, the Bible says, because I'm a Christian, I'm going to end with this. The Bible says that money is the root of all evil. Well,
The
I'm
love
sorry,
of
that's what I'm
money.
saying. Hold on. Some people will say money. They sometimes leave some of the words out. The Bible
Yeah.
says the love of it. The
Mm-hmm.
love of it is what makes it evil. All right.
Mm.
But if the two of you decide to sit down and plan equally, matter
And
of
be
fact, the Bible
patient
says
with
that
each other.
God would, yes, God will even bless us more. It's just about, if you are not planning, if you are not smart with money, God is not going to give you money because God is going to, God knows you're going to
Money
abuse it.
will ruin your relationship if you are not smart
Yes.
with it.
And so, couples out there, families, friends, and everything, like I said, this is my perspective. You are learning, keep learning. And thank you so much for the great, great, great questions and contributions. You guys are incredible. Okay. So, let's make relationships happy, whether it's disadvantages or not, whether we have accounts together or not. We shouldn't let the disadvantages or whatever it is ruin our marriage. There's a way to always go about it to make sure that relationship blossoms. And we create it. We should create the relationship however we want it. Thank you so very much.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to give us your final because I think you've already given us your final word. And thank you so much, Brakofi, for oh my God, everything that you've told us this evening. And before we go, Mr. Burns has something to tell us. He said we shouldn't equate money to power. There should be a mutual respect, love conquers all, and this is
Amen. You couldn't say it, you couldn't put
what
it much better than that.
we
Thank you,
are
Opo.
talking about today. Mr. Asante said, I will come and see you. So he's referring to you, Brakofi. So be
Yes, we
on
can
guard.
always provide education where it's
Mr.
possible.
Kofi
Yes.
will come and see you. And finally, Mr. Burns said, thank you, Ohima and Kofi, for educating us. God bless you. And God bless you all for your time and coming here to listen to
Thank you.
us. We are not perfect, but we think the little knowledge that we have, like for instance, Mr. Kofi here is a financial educator, so he can educate you about money, trust me. And when he sits down with you and he's educating you, you be like you are on a different planet altogether. So thank you, our viewers, for your time and your contributions and
Thank you.
your questions and everything. Next week by this time, and like I said, it's just today that we are discussing disadvantages of joint account. There are a lot of advantages to having joint account as a couple. So meet us here next week, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are going to discuss the advantages of having a joint account as couples. Thank you all, and may God bless us all. See you same time next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ohima, and bye bye
Bye.
to
Bye-bye.
our incredible,
Our
incredible,
gracious
incredible audience.
viewers.
Please go ahead and share this video if you think it's beneficial and it can benefit somebody. Please go ahead and share this video so that we can all educate ourselves and be better people and be better versions of ourselves. God bless you all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.